Yeah, I don't think the new Trump administration is going to be anything like the first one. Not from what I've seen so far. He sits at this desk and starts doing the horror show. He starts signing executive orders. And he's like, yeah, since you guys can't figure out what is a woman, it's okay, I figured it out for you. Two genders, male and female. Next. Yeah, since all of you from the mainstream media are so horrified and you're so concerned about January 6th and what's gonna happen here, I'm going to ease your concerns, right? You're going to be afraid right now. You're going to be really scared right now, but after a while, you're going to forget about it. I'm going to pardon them. All of them. Every single one of them. Pardon, pardon, pardon. Like Joe Biden pardoned his son. And you know what the media did? Do you know what the leftists are doing on Twitter? Absolutely nothing. I guess they're good allies. They're just taking it. They're taking every single one of this, like not a single peep. And do you know why? Because Trump didn't just win politically, he won morally as well. Like the moment he got the popular vote, the moment progressive corporations are losing cash because they can't sell beer to the Americans, that's when they knew that the gig is up. And the pendulum is swinging. I don't know if it's going to swing for the better. I hope so. I just hope we're not going to get like a different type of moral busybodies in charge. At least maybe like 3 or 4 years where we're left the fuck alone to play our video games. Because god damn it, that's what I always wanted. See, I told you. Should have just let me play my fucking video games. Now look how many executive orders you caused, huh? Look how many executive orders you caused. If you can just let me play my fucking video games without inserting your ideology into them, without making every single female character look like a male Democrat. If you could have kept that to yourself, people wouldn't have, the gamers wouldn't have rise up. But anyway, all jokes aside though, this wouldn't have happened without Joe Biden. Like, you gotta understand that without Joe Biden, this wouldn't have been possible. Why? Because Joe Biden showed to the Americans what the alternative is. And there's a lot of people like Anna Kasparian and others who, when they were streaming, they were left-leaning individuals. And you could see that they're left-leaning who went like, okay, well, this is not sustainable. This can't go on. You know, it's one thing to scream defund the police and you're viewed like a edgy rebel. It's another thing to actually get what you want. Not necessarily in a fiscal matter, like not necessarily that the police department is actually defunded, but in the sense that you've managed to demoralize them. In the sense that you've managed to pass legislation that makes them toothless. In the sense that you have like legislation that has no bail and the police, like think about it this way, right? If you're a police officer and you're a good one, like let's assume, right? Because I know in the mind of the leftists this is something hard to imagine. Imagine that you're an actually good police officer and you want to make a positive change for your community. You want to keep crime low. You want to make people feel safe on the street. And you risk your life in order to accomplish that. Maybe you're trying to stop a mugging. Maybe you're trying to stop an assault. And when you do that, you actually risk your life. And not only do you risk your life, but you also risk your freedom. Because God knows, you know, if the perpetrator does something and you end up shooting them and CNN or the Young Turks was there, right? And so, like, it's an insanely stressful job. Very difficult job as well. And you manage to pull it off, you know? Maybe you manage to stop someone from getting mugged. That person still thinks you're a pig. They still hate you. Because they're a leftist, right? Like, you're a cop in a leftist city and they hate you even though you saved them. And that was actually a case with a lady that got saved in a subway in New York City. But more than that, you know, you take the guy to the station, you arrest them, you book them, and then he's on the streets the next day. How do you feel about yourself? Like what does that person think about you, and what do you think about them in that situation? And so when you have added legislation, it's like you can steal things for less than $1,000 and the cops won't chase you. The left gets to see, all right, well, maybe, you know, like, it's nice being edgy, and it's nice asking for certain things, but it's not nice when we actually get what we want. And you had sanctuary cities that were like, you know what? Maybe a wall isn't such a bad idea. Like there were mayors from blue sanctuary cities that were having the exact same fascist rhetoric that Trump had in 2016. And again, like, I think that without Joe Biden, this wouldn't have happened, because now you have like a strong coalition of a lot of people that would have voted Democrat that voted for Trump because they were like, enough. And so like they lost the moral battle. Like, people are saying, not like this. And because of that, they know that Trump right now can do pretty much whatever the fuck he wants. It's not that he just has the White House, but he's got the Supreme Court, he's got the Senate, and he's got the House. And so there's literally nothing they can say against him. I mean, I seen them try, and usually what they get on social media is like, and that's a good thing. Like, people are basically saying, the journalists like, look what Trump did. Look, oh my God, like, and people are like, well, yeah. Oh my God, he got America out of the World Health Organization, and like, based. He's pulling America out of the Paris Agreement. Right on. And the culture is shifting, right? Again, I don't know where it's going to shift. I don't know what we're going to get. I don't know if we're going to get the 90s back. I really like the 90s. They were cool. But I don't know. The thing is, like, what you do with the power as well. Because I noticed this with the United States especially. It's a two-party system. Like, they don't have multiple parties. And so they go to the extremes. What I mean by this is that you got the World War II, right? And people there become hyper-religious, hyper-patriotic. They're incredibly gung-ho. And they demoralize their own kids. Like, they traumatize their children. Not everyone, like, obviously not every parent. But, like, a lot of them does that. So their kids become hippies. And then the hippies are also to the extreme. Like, they don't understand what moderation is. They don't understand that certain things, just because you can't do it, you shouldn't do them. And so, again, they end up traumatizing their kids. And their kids become the Bushites, right? Like, you get the Bush era. And the Bush era is with the satanic panic, and it's like Pokemon is doing magic, and black metal is evil, and like all the other nonsense. Comes with the package, right? And Jesus this, Jesus that, like the war in Iraq is a holy war, I think. Like, that's what Bush said. And then you have the Patriot Act and all the other nonsense. So, like, people vote Obama. And it's never fucking ending, right? Like, it's never fucking ending. It's like either one wheel or the other. But the good news is that usually, sometimes, occasionally, you get 2 or 3 years of being left the fuck alone between the pendulum swings. And hopefully we're going to get some of that. Unfortunately, what I do know we're going to get is probably a recession. So, usually in a recession, people are more concerned with family matters and putting food on the table than moralizing strangers on the internet or moralizing gaming companies. And so, like, there's also that to take into account. But all in all, again, I think Joe Biden is the best thing that happened for right-wingers in the United States. Hands down. Best man for the job. Like if I was to strategize for conservatives in the US, I wouldn't know what else to tell them. It's like let Biden win. It's like, what do you mean? Just 4 years. Just let him win trust me on this one. Just trust me. Just 4 years. No more. Like, but what if he wants to run another 4? They won't let him. Like, his own party won't let him. Take into account that we were this close to a Nikki Haley presidency. Like, we were this close. Like, the Trump assassination attempt, right? Like, if they would have managed to hit, chances are you'd have gotten Nikki Haley running against Kamala Harris. Wouldn't have that been interesting? Wouldn't have that been an interesting alternative future? And so, we're living in very interesting times where I think, like, Trump will actually use the power that he has. Because he's got nothing to lose at this point, right? Like, he's also of age. He's not going to run for another term. Like, he's probably going to retire after this. So everything he does, I honestly think he does it for the country at this point. Like, I don't believe that he's got any other reason to do the things. Given the age, given that he's already a wealthy man, given that he already was a president. Like the only thing left, I think, is for him to remain in the history books. And I think he's going to try that. And by the way, this whole thing with fixing America's food, like, wow. If they actually accomplish that, that would be insane. I generally feel bad for a lot of Americans. Seriously. Like, not in the sense that... How should I put it in a way that it doesn't come off as evil? But, like, you shouldn't be in a country where the food is poisonous. Like, I'm sorry to say this, but I notice the morbid obesity crisis, when you have a Romanian that is fit, and he travels to the United States and maintains the same lifestyles, he becomes morbidly obese. So it's not really your fault, right? Like, it's the food that you're eating. I don't know why. I don't know what they're putting in it. But, like, if you eat like a normal person, you still get weight. And the only thing you should do is, like, either eat extremely expensive stuff to avoid the cheap food that's the one that's making people fat, or you need to exercise. Which exercising is fine, by the way, but, like, you need to exercise twice as much than a European. And so, like, if they manage to fix the food industry, that would be great. You get healthy Americans, you know? Like, that would be cool. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.